Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ANMI's webinar number 119. Today's topic we have is trading preferences by clients. And today we have a guest speakers from BSC. Okay, we have Ms. Usha Sharma, Senior General Manager, BSC, Mr. Hitesh Kumar Desai, General Manager, BSC, Ms. Richa Ghosh, Assistant General Manager, BSC. Today we have for us to give the welcome speech by Mr. Basant Kumar Agrawal, Chairman of ANMI SRC APT Division. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Richa ma'am. Good evening, Hitesh ji. I thank ANMI for conducting this meeting, and I thank BSC team for giving the time and speaking on the giving us enlightening about the circular. I please welcome Richa Ghosh, the assistant Risha Ghoshji, the Assistant General Manager in the BSC. I also welcome Mr. Hitesh Kumar Desai, the General Manager in BSC, and we are also expecting Usha Sharma ji, the Senior General Manager in the BSC. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Rohit ji play.
Good evening.
Rohit ji is the Vice Chairman for EPT chapter. I request Rohit ji to please take the lead and start the today's session webinar. Thank you.
Okay. Great. I think what we'll do, I think it's a relatively simpler circular compared to everything else. So you can just request members from BSC to go through the circular quickly and just explain it to them, to everyone. Then there are a few questions that we've received from the members. If you haven't covered anything during the speech, then I will ask it at the end of the speech so that we can cover all the topics. And just be mindful of the time because we have another event at 4:15, so we'll try to wrap this up before that. So, Richa, ma'am, would you take over to start the program?
Thank you very much, Team ANMI, for organizing a webinar in this way. It is very a pleasure for the entire BSC. It's an honor that we are here to explain the nitty-gritties of the circular that is recently issued by SEBI on trading preferences by clients. So as the circular states, please do let me know in case if I'm going too fast, because I really want everyone to understand and we should not miss out on anything. So as the circular states, it's a trading preference by clients. Now, when we talk about trading preference, it says like everyone has a certain preference, whether he wants to trade in equity, whether he wants to trade in derivatives, whether the person wants to trade in currency or commodities. But today, with the interoperability and with the entire era moving towards digitalization, a client may or may not understand difference between an exchange. So just to curb the difference and to make it a single platform and to give a view to the clients that if you're trading in capital market, you are registered with NSE, BSE, MSCI. If you're trading in commodities, you're registered with NSE, BSE, MCX, NCDX, everywhere. The only catch here is the trading member with whom the client selects to trade should be a member of all these exchanges. For example, we take an example of a company called X. Now, X is a broker who is registered with all the exchanges in all these segments. A client, when goes to that particular broker, X says, I want to invest money into capital market, derivatives, commodities, and currency. Basically, he opts for all these segments. Now, when a member usually gives the form to the client, it becomes very cumbersome for him because he has to apply his mind, okay, should I trade for commodities in MCX or NCDX? Should I trade for currency derivatives in BSE or NSE? Do I need to check the volume? Do I need to, there can be multiple questions which can be, while filling up the form, remains unanswered with the client. But with the ease of doing business, now when we are planning that, everything should be on a fingertips and everything should be very easy for the clients. Easygoing life may. So SEBI has come out with a solution that the headache should not be on the client. He should have a very swift trading for himself. So if a client opts for capital market and a member, if he is a member of NSE, BSE, MSCI, the client automatically gets registered in capital market segment of NSE, BSE, and MSCI. Now, suppose a client says that, okay, I want to be a client only in NSE and BSE, and I want to opt out for MSCI. So in that case, a client will have to give a specific instruction saying that I want to opt out of MSCI, and that instruction needs to be stored by the member for a minimum period of 5 years. But earlier, the confirmation was on a positive confirmation. When the client used to opt for a particular segment, there was a positive confirmation. Now the confirmation from positive has only changed to negative confirmation, that now if a client wants to opt out of any segment, he has to give the confirmation in writing. Earlier, the situation was when a client needed to trade in a particular segment, the client had to give an opt-in kind of a confirmation. So the change is only this much. And
change is minimal, and actually why the change is brought is because we wanted to provide an opportunity to the clients upfront. Now, what is happening? Say somebody somewhere, some exchanges may not be able to give a trading platform due to technical reason. Then today the scenario is such that if this client is not registered with the another exchange, then entire stockbroker has to wait for T+1 day, because today he will not be on board any client today immediately. That is the scenario today. Now, if he is registered across the all exchange, across the segment, then that problem will not arise, and he can immediately start trading with member is already on board, member is already active on another exchange. Then due to technical failure of one exchange, he can immediately start trading on another exchange. That is the most important leverage by this circular client will get. That is the whole objective, that client should get the benefit of even interoperability. Interoperability benefit also is a new thing. Recently, 4-5 years back, it has come. Now we have received one of the question, why today this is happening? Why now? Now the question is proper, but answer is this, that today scenario is such that we have interoperability. We have a scenario where now you cannot onboard client immediately. Today scenario with all the capital market sector, you have to onboard client only T+1 day. After 10:30 file, you will get that which are the client permitted to trade. Now, if all this client is having onboarded across the segment, across the exchanges, then they will be able to trade seamlessly in case any problem arises. Secondly, they can also avail with a better pricing. Now, many of the small clients may not be aware that my broker, earlier he was only a member of BSC. Tomorrow he become a member of say MCX or any other exchange, or vice versa. If he was a member of NSE, now BSC is doing very well in derivative segment in couple of months. So they might have also opted derivative segment, and they have also started. Now, if client is only tick that opted only NSE or say any other exchange, then it will take a lot of time to onboard the client on BSC or any other exchange. So that seamlessness have come now with this circular. All those clients will be having an access to entire financial industry. I would say that they will have an access, and they will be seamlessly onboarded on the stock market. Now they can switch on wherever they get benefit. They can utilize their capital in better way. This is the gist of the circular, and there is no much changes as far as existing things are concerned. One more query was about the derivative segment. If somebody wants to trade in derivative segment, then there is a criteria. Now, this circular doesn't say that this criteria is done away with. This circular is only saying that if your client has opted for, say, capital market segment at BSC, then it should be onboarded on all other exchanges who is providing capital market segment. And if you are a member of all these exchanges, that is the simplest thing this circular says. Richa, please carry on. Richa, you may carry on, please.
Richa, you're on mute, Richa. Richa, I think you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. So,
I think she might be having some connection issue. We can carry
Yeah.
on, please.
So Hitesh, so just a few questions we got from members. One
please.
simple question they asked was, since people are still using printed forms for client registration, can this be used just as an extra, or do they have to replace that page?
Yeah, as of now, as per the SEBI circular, they have just given a tabulation. I think we can use it as an annexure. We'll also come out with a FAQ on this. What exactly SEBI also expecting us to do. I think for the new client, after subsequent, smaller period, we might require to change the KYC itself, form itself. But as of now, we can use annexure. But certainly we'll come out with a FAQ on this.
Okay. And so the other question was, a lot of people asked is, if we say on BSE FNO, most people don't provide the trading terminal for one reason or other. Now, if they have opted for it, do we mandatorily have to provide it, or even if you're a member but don't have the technology to provide it?
I didn't get your question. Sorry, sir.
So if lots of members are members of BSE FNO as well, along with NSE FNO. So
Okay.
do they have to mandatorily register them in BSE FNO now that both of these are combined?
If client is opted for derivative segment at NSE, then you have to provide them opportunity to register on BSE also.
Okay. But that is not up to the broker. If they choose not to register them in BSE, that's not an option anymore. I think we lost it.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, Richa, you're audible.
Yeah. So if your question is unanswered, can you please repeat
I'm
the
sorry,
question?
I also lost connection.
Yeah. So I'll just repeat the question. So as a broker, if we are members of, say, BSE FNO and the client opts for it, can we still choose not to give it to him for one reason or other?
No. As far as segment is concerned, he has opted for segment, then you don't have choice to deny this thing.
Okay. Okay. So if you are a member of something, if you're, say, a member of MSCI, which is the most common one, then also you would have to register them in MSCI, even though you don't trade there at all.
Yeah, if you are a member, then you have to get them registered on MSCI also. See, the whole objective of SEBI is that we are going to, I mean, a worst scenario. Suppose say BSE and NSE both get affected because of some technology reason. Worst scenario. Then at least that guy can trade at MSCI. The whole objective is that.
Okay. And this circular is not related to existing clients, just making
Yeah,
sure
it is related to existing clients. Para 6 says clearly existing clients should be given an opportunity. They should give a negative consent. If they don't want to go for any segment, then they have to give a negative consent.
No, but for existing clients, if all new clients onboarded, this is applicable. But how would we make this applicable for existing clients? We have to
see what circular says that you don't have to take positive consent.
Yeah.
You have to inform existing client by way of SMS, emails, all those revenue they have been provided, and they take their non-negative consent if they don't want to go for it.
Okay, so negative consent has to be taken from all existing
Yeah,
clients.
that is required to be taken.
And that can be via OTP or email or any other fashion.
Yeah, that they actually in para clearly mention about that.
Okay. No, but in this, it just says that we have to inform the clients. It doesn't say you have to take negative consent, the paragraph 6. Hitesh, sir?
Yeah, I think now I'm audible. I just changed my connection.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're audible now.
Yeah, so now I can answer. Tell me, please.
No, we're just discussing on the negative consent required from existing customers. do we have to get something in writing from existing customers, or we just have to inform them? Will that do as per paragraph 6 of the SEBI circular?
No. So there's a clarification to para 6 of the circular, which a client wants to opt out separately from client in writing and to maintain records of such negative consent provided by the clients for at least a period of 5 years.
No, but this is regarding existing customers, not new customers. For existing customers, do you have to do anything?
Yeah, for existing as well as new customers.
I'm losing connect.
Yeah, whichever we're losing, you're going in and out.
For existing as well as for new customers, there is a clarification that for that will be
I think
provided
you
to
switch off your
well
video. Switch off your video. That will be better.
So now is it better?
Yes, that's better.
Hello? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
So that in case of existing clients, a negative consent should be obtained separately from clients in writing. Members shall be mandated to maintain records of such written negative consent provided by the clients at least for a period of 5 years.
Sorry, we lost you in between, Richard. Can you repeat that again?
Certainly.
Yeah.
So it is clarified that opting out facility should be provided to new as well as existing clients, and negative consent should be obtained separately from clients in writing. Stockbrokers shall be mandated to maintain records of such written negative consent provided for 5 years.
Okay. Okay. So basically, we'll have to go to every existing client and tell them we don't want to sign up for all these segments and get them to sign off on the same thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I think that has to be driven by the it has to be by the wish of the client and not the trading member's side. Like a client, if he wishes to opt out, then the client would come to you and state that I wish to opt out of this particular segment. Else, as a trading member, in case if the client is 6 attributes compliant client, you have to activate the client in all the segments in which you are a member. And for that, a deadline is given of 3 months.
But that's for all existing clients. So
all existing clients.
For the new client, it is from the 1st of August.
Okay. Got it. That's a very tedious task. We just asked them for 6 attributes. Now we're asking them for trading preferences. But okay.
No, but that's what you don't have to take a consent now. It is an automation. Like, if you have to take a negative consent, it will be tedious. Otherwise, you just have to onboard them.
Yes. Okay. No, I understand for new clients, there's no problem. Just for existing clients, if we're just giving them the option is different versus forcefully getting their consent. They're both very different things.
No, but you don't have to get a consent. My understanding of the circular is we have to onboard them across the exchanges. And if they have any negative consent, then you will have to do something. Otherwise, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, but that's for new clients. For old clients, we won't do anything.
For old clients only. So there are 2 sets of clients. For new clients, there is the segment preferences would be as per the segment preference and not as per the exchange preference. So that is clear from 1st of August. I think that is very much stands clear. And for existing clients in which a member is already active as a member in the exchange in the segment, automatically the client will be registered in that particular exchange, that particular segment. If the client is 6 attributes compliant client. Suppose, for example, again, I'll give you an example. Suppose if a broker X is registered, is a trading member of NSCCM and BSCCM only. Okay? And the client A is an existing client of member X and is a client only in NSCCM segment. So within 3 months, going from the date of the circular, within 3 months, broker X is responsible to register client A in BSCCM automatically without any consent or without any kind of a instruction from the client. Okay. Now, if suppose this client A says in writing that tomorrow, I do not want my NSCCM to be my segment. So since he has given a negative consent, this negative consent from disable the particular client A from NSCCM segment.
Okay, got it. That's helpful. Okay, I think that covers most of the questions we had in this segment. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close the session?
I think 10 questions I posted on chart, Zoom, in your Zoom chat. If you see, you got just run through them and you can close it in 5 minutes.
Okay, fine.
See, there was one question related to point number 5 of the circular, wherein it was said that why this event, the basic idea of the SEBI seems to be that if I am trading in commodity exchange, I opted for commodity segment, but NCDX provide commodity, agri commodity. And if I am being a farmer, I don't want to trade on the metal and all those segment of MCX. In such scenario, this client of NCDX can write in that column, I have opted for only agri commodity exchange. That is the basic objective of that particular line, where it has been written that segment you have opted for mutual fund, not opted for mutual fund, or exact. I don't have the line, but that was the question wherein it has been said at 0.5, it is confusing. Something is mentioned in that. The objective was that because we have discussed this particular point specifically, this was only specifically made for the commodity exchange where farmers are more keen and more trading on NCDX where agri commodities are being traded. So they don't want to trade in metal or crude and all those things. So there they can write as a being a client, I opted for trading only in agri commodity and not opted for metal commodity exchange.
So if you want, I can just read out the para 5 of the circular.
Thank you. Thank you. Please read out.
So para 5 states, accordingly, part C of Annexure A of Master Circular for Stockbrokers with reference to circular number dated 17th May 2023 stands modified as under trading preferences. Herein, the client would be required to sign as per the relevant boxes where he wishes to trade. And also it's mentioned, please strike off the segment not chosen by you. Now here in the table, it is also mentioned, if you do not wish to trade in any of the segments, oblique mutual fund, please mention here. That states the circular para number 5.
Okay. No, I think, just a few other members were asking just the same question, is that now that these clients, when we signed up these clients, they would have selected everything, but they're not trading. So say they signed up only NSE. So today we will onboard them in BSE without their consent. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because you are backed by the SEBI circular.
Okay. And just we have one more question asking what happens if the client does not respond to the messages sent. Will it be treated as a positive consent?
So again, Mr. Ron, I would like to repeat, in case of positive confirmation, you do not have to take a confirmation from the client since it is backed up by the circular as issued by SEBI. Only in case of negative confirmation, the same needs to be opted from the client, and that negative consent needs to be stored for a minimum period of 5 years.
And
no, Richa, what he is asking is if they do not respond. In such scenario, we have to take it as a positive consent.
हाँ, positive consent में तो response करना ही नहीं है ना.
नहीं, madam, if they do not respond for this negative consent, then we have
then
to
it's a
go by.
positive consent.
Correct.
And also for onboarding these existing clients, is this regarding only active clients or is this even for dormant clients?
So see, I have to read this question also. This dormant and closed client will not be accepted by any exchange unless they are 6 KYC compliant. So that is not required to be done as of now. But however, whenever they become active, then you should take into consideration this circular and it should be as per this circular.
Great, sir. I think we covered most of the points.
I would just like to add one point, if just to reiterate that as per point para number 6 of the SEBI circular, it also states that the existing clients need to be informed through SMS/email about their segment activation.
Okay, great.
That is also one question a member had asked. So that's just a revert to that. It's mentioned in para number 6.
And then
I think Mr. Ashutosh Gupta's question is answered. So,
I think that's the main question. We just have to update the UCC and all other exchanges.
yes.
Okay.
In case if any question still remains unanswered, Mr. Ronak, it's easy to reach us at bsc.inspection@bsindia.com. We would be happy to take all the questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was very helpful walking us through this circular. It definitely will help when there are outages and if there are any issues in one segment.
We will also coming out with a FAQ on this. So
I just want to thank
will also
Hitesh, sir, and Ms. Rich.
Thank you, ANMI, for quickly organizing session.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I thank Richa ma'am and Hitesh ji for coming and giving us the precious time of yours. Thank you so much for enlightening us on the circular's detail. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rohit ji. It was Rohit ji, please continue.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rohit ji, I am leaving the webinar.
Yeah, sure.
Richa, you may please continue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in just a second, we will continue. Let the guest continue on the frame. Stephen, just give 30 seconds and introduce Mr. Suresh ji and then continue the session.
I'll do that, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Pillai, is it still live?
It's still live. The second session will be going continuing along with this.
Certainly, noted.
Good evening to all. Suresh.
Good evening, everyone, and once again, welcome to the 120th knowledge series of ANMI. Today, the topic we have is on upstreaming of clients' funds, and we have a special speakers from NSC, BSc, NCL, ICCL, NSDL, and CDSL. Today, the welcome speech will be given by Mr. Suresh Krishnamurthy. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening to all. On behalf of ANMI, I extend my warm welcome to my colleague, Mr. Rajiv Gupta, and other speakers who are going to present their views on the upstreaming of clients' funds to CC. All of you know that every day, every hour, every minute, circular is coming from SEBI's office to streamline so many things. Now, recently, the circular has come that upstreaming of cash, clients for balances to clearing corporations. See, the purpose of this particular circular is to ensure that clients' funds are safe. The number one objective. Second thing is more transparent in handling the client's cash, rather client's money. Third, to ensure a proper mechanism whereby the default or other things cannot happen and the money will be with the right authorities to meet the demand. But one problem with this particular circular is that it cripples the normal functioning of stockbrokers. See, normally any business is being conducted by anybody the way in which he wants to conduct, of course, to ensure that he is conducting the business within the framework of whatever being fixed by the various regulatory authorities. But here now we are going further ahead, rather one more step to strangulate the movement, the functioning of brokers. Thereby, no funds will be available with the brokers. Earlier, the brokers were enjoying the float from clients' funds, which in turn helped them to give some benefit to the clients only. They are not misused or anything. But SEBI felt that nothing should be in the hands of the brokers. So in days to come, definitely there will be further refinement in this particular aspect. They may take away the entire things to ASBOM model, whereby you will be asked to just to punch the orders, whereas the money will flow from client's bank account to clearing corporation. This is what we are visualizing in days to come. So now here, this particular framework, another hitch is that the tenure of the FDR, which I'm going to lean mark to clearing corporations, must be not more than 1 year. This is another headache is there. So one more problem for the stockbrokers. Similarly, the principal must be protected and it must be available at any time to pre-closure. So all those, rules are, very, very tough for the purpose of ensuring client safety of the client's money, but on the other hand, crippling the operations to a great extent. Operations crippling means what I meant is here, it is very difficult on day-to-day basis carrying out the upstreaming of clients' balances to the clearing corporations. Of course, it will take its own, sweet time in meeting the demand of SEBI. Anyhow, the brokers, I think we as members, we are all thinking various means to achieve this particular demand. So the most important thing is that brokers were allowed to even to have the mutual funds, overnight mutual funds as a security also. So another instrument is available for them to park their funds and give them as a security to the clearing corporations. So by and large, if you see that, the mechanism is very simple. No money should be with the broker. It must be with the clearing corporation. At the end of the day, you should ensure that you are free from having clients' money. So this is the whole objective of that particular circular. Of course, the circular may be very simple, look very simple and easy, but practically, if you get into the issues, lot of problems will be there from community side. That's why today we are having galaxy of speakers for this purpose. I extend my warm welcome to Miss Renu Bhandari from NSC, Vice President Inspection, Ms. Usha Sharma, Senior General Manager, BSc, Mr. Piyush Chorisa, Chief Regulatory Officer and Head Strategy, NCL, Mr. Huzifa, Head Risk Management from NCL. Then from ICCL, Mr. Anand Saha, Chief Regulatory and Compliance Officer. Mr. Murnal Ambarkar, Senior Manager and Clearing and Settlement. From NSDL, Mr. Anik Mehta, Assistant Vice President, Business Development and Product. Kiran Pathiani, Senior Manager, Product Team. Then from CDSL, Mrs. Ashish Bhatt, Vice President Operations. Then Mr. Rajesh Sharaf, Chief Data and Operations Officer. So for today, we are fortunate to have galaxy of speakers, not only from the exchange, but also from NSDL and CDSL also. So to give us Clearing Corporation also, to give us the various, points of view about the whole circular and how to mitigate or how to ensure the smooth implementation of this particular circular for the purpose of effective, rather objective, that is to attain that objective, how we can do that. So I may once again welcome all of you, sir, all of you, madam also. So please, you can take over this session. Now I am giving over to Mr. Rajiv Gupta, who will be the moderator for this session. Please, sir, over to you, Mr. Rajiv Gupta.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh. Good evening, friends. And a big welcome to the large galaxy of speakers. And I don't think even with 4 hours, we can do justice with the issues. I have a list of at least 170 queries in my list. I don't know how to go about it, but even then I've tried to summarize the issues. And in fact, before taking up the issues, I would request the people from NCL and ICCL to give their presentation and explain the things in brief. I think all the queries have been shared with them. So in case they can cover up with them the crux of the queries, that would be fine. Otherwise, at the end of the session, we'll take up one by one. So, Renuji, who's going to take? You or Mr. Huzefa? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Ms. Renu Bandari, can you start?
Renuji.
Renuji, please, you can open up the session now.
आप ही श्री गणेश करो.
हाँ जी. So initially, because you mentioned that NCL or ICCL, so nothing much actually. Thank you for organizing this program. Earlier also, last 2 days we have been doing such programs with other associations as well. So thank you for organizing this program today. And as all of us know that this circular has been issued by SEBI, and this is on upstreaming of funds. Already Rajiv ji and Suresh ji had put in an objective of this circular, that to protect client assets, the entire funds, because we know that securities are anyway under pledge. So now with this, funds also of the clients would be completely upstreamed, and these would be upstreamed to CC. And we have also issued the FAQ also, just to give again clarity on certain questions which brokers were raising. And I'm sure a lot of questions have already been replied through the FAQ. But still, as Rajiv ji said that there are a lot of questions, around 170 more questions are with him today. So we will try to answer each one of them. Just to put perspective, 2 minutes only I will take, and then I think we can straight away go to question and answer. If before that NCL or ICCL has something, they can brief. We all know that whatever funds we have, it needs to be upstream. So what basically we have to do, first thing is that all the bank accounts of the client, which means the client bank account, all the brokers are maintaining, all those accounts needs to be either named as upstream or downstream. So upstream account will only receive funds and the funds will be pushed to CC through the settlement account. And similarly, these downstream accounts will be used to make the payments. So now if we have to make the payments, we'll take release from the CC, again from CC to the settlement, and from there downstream, and then the payment to the client. Anything which is, any money which is left in the downstream again can go to upstream, and from there again to the CC. Nothing can move from the upstream to the downstream. Only from downstream, whatever is left can again go back to upstream, and from there again to the CC through the settlement account. So this is how the main structure is. And whatever charges members have to take, like brokerage, and if it is against the unpaid securities, pain, etc., we would be taking as a release from the CC, which will come again to the settlement account. From settlement account, it can move to the own account. But whatever amount we are asking release on a day-to-day basis, there are certain codes which have been given by NCL also and ICCL also, in fact, all clearing corporation in their circulars, that against which we can take money, and we have to report that money which we have taken as a release is against those purpose, so that we can do a reconciliation. At your end also, you have to maintain a reconciliation. Already this requirement was also there in 2016 enhanced supervision circular as well, wherein it was briefed that whatever money we transfer from own to client and client to own requires a reconciliation statement which should be available at all point of time. So as here as well, here one more requirement only to inform CC also that whatever release we have taken, it is for what all purpose. So that anytime we want to look at the reconciliation statement along with these numbers, we will be able to reconcile that the charges which have gone to own account are on account of only these charges. So I think in brief from my side, this much. Without taking much time, I think we should straight go to question and answer. And before that, I would request NCL or ICCL, if they have anything to add on, then we can move to questions. Thank you.
So we issued a circular on June 21. We hope that everyone's gone through that. Other than that, we have nothing more to add. I think everyone was covered the Genesis quite well.
Yeah, from ICCL also we have issued the circular as well as the FAQs. So anything which is not clarified in the FAQs, we are happy to take the questions.
Yeah, first question is, I think Mr. Raju Gupta.
Can we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Rajiv, with me, Naresh also is here, Naresh Savana. He is also taking care of this upstreaming circular. So he is also here for answering the question.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the first and foremost is it possible for you to request on our behalf for a slight extension or deferment of this implementation, because the understanding of the process is still going on, plus the process of bank accounts, change of nomenclature and account opening is still under process. Many times the authorized signatories are not there. Even for my case, my account has been opened since last 6 days and I'm still struggling with their mapping of that ENIT function where we upload the RTGS files and all. It's still not in place. So is it possible to seek a little deferment of this circular, maybe 2 months, so that everything can fall in place before we go ahead? That is the summary of. In summary, this is the one of the queries. Then the second problem that people anticipate is funds remaining in the upstream or downstream account after the deadlines. Suppose we make an RTGS or we issue checks. Suppose RTGS fails and a credit is received back after the deadline time is over. There would be a certain amount of credit that would be lying in the downstream account. In the upstream, suppose there are checks which are yet to be cleared, or any funds that are received after the deadline. So they may be permitted to be uploaded next day morning. I don't see too much of an issue in case you could sensitize the the regulatory authorities for this need. The third problem that we are facing is regarding this FDR tenure. So, normally the FDR tenure For 365 days, there's a different interest rates. And if you make it for 1 year, 5 days, there would be a different interest rate. Most of the people make it slightly more than 1 year. And I don't see any systematic risk. Even if the tenure is higher, say maybe 15 months or even 2 years, 3 years, where is the issue? As long as premature encashment is allowed and the principal is protected. So in case you could take this up. The next question remains that, as per the circular, there's a pay-in instruction that we have to put in, say a value dated instruction. Now, suppose I have a pay-in of 50 lakhs, a net pay-in, and I have money in the unallocated thing, unallocated surplus. And some of the client who was supposed to make the pay-in does not make the pay-in and there's a shortage. Then what happens? Does the exchange, the clearing corporation take the shortage into account while handling it? And what is the consequence of all this? Suppose I have a pay-in of 50 lakhs, I have put in a value dated instruction of release of 50 lakhs, and there's a security shortage of 10 lakhs. Now my fund requirement is 60 lakhs. Now how do I handle that? The next one is, in this summary that we are supposed to upload, do we have to take every day our charges to our own account? Because normally people do it in batches, say every 15 days or every 30 days, whenever statutory dues are paid, we take it to our own account. We don't necessarily transfer funds on a day-to-day basis. So is it envisaged that we have to do it on a day-to-day basis, or we can do it in a batch mode? Say after every 15 days, 30 days, whatever is balance. The next issue that was highlighted was regarding NRI clients payouts. I think they had to be paid by checks when mapped with the bills. And suppose the checks do not get presented the same day, how do we make our accounts zero? Because the next day when they hit the account will be zero and the checks will bounce. Then for this reconciliation statement, we've been told that we have to upload some reconciliation statement, but no file format has been yet shared. How to make that reconciliation statement? And the next issue was effect of funds EPI. Suppose we make an EPI, then we don't have to upload that amount, or how does it work? Could you kindly explain that? Then the next issue came was regarding OFS and SGBs. Now we apply for, say, sovereign gold bonds, and once they are accepted, they are debited the next day. But we don't know when are they accepted, how much they are accepted, how much release is required. So even though the funds would be lying with the clearing corporation, what happens to those liabilities? That could be elucidated, please. And then with the NSGL and ICCL, NSGL and CDSL, I would request them to kindly elaborate on this MFOS scheme, which people are not really familiar, and how does it operate. So these are the things in brief, in case somebody could start explaining these issues.
So I would give you a couple of answers. You have given 8-9 questions, and then for some of them I would request NCL as well, PhD. So starting with extension, you said that a request from our side for extension, suddenly you have written to us, we'll try. But I think SEBI is looking for implementation from July 1. So we will try from our side, but the framework, if we say upstreaming of funds, today also we are putting funds to CC. It is in the same manner, it has to just go up, and then from there it has to come back and then make payments to client. So if we say that any new channel has to start, that is no, the channel is already there. Only thing, each pie has to go up and then it has to go down. So we'll certainly try, but the idea is that SEBI is of the view that nothing new has come. Already this framework was there. If we do not consider overnight mutual funds, then rest of the things were already in place. Only thing that we are moving every money, every paisa up. And second, you said on the money received after the cutoff time and the checks issued and have not been presented. So money received from clients after cutoff time, you'll have to do some awareness to clients. You'll have to send mailers that please do not deposit. One is that you'll have to tell them that please deposit money only in the upstream account. And those upstream accounts needs to be displayed on our website. We also will be displaying once we receive intimation from you that which are the upstream account. And additionally, like there is already a requirement that we have to, members have to display. So there they should display all the upstream account with the disclaimer that money should be deposited only in these accounts. So this will make client aware that after cutoff time, they should not be depositing money. Second is on the check issued not presented. I would suggest here because, you know, even in our circulars on settlement of client accounts and otherwise as well, we are always telling that the payments have to be necessarily through the electronic mode. It could be EFT, RTGS, NEFT. So if by any chance or any reason these payments are getting rejected, then only we have to issue check only in extreme situations and having a reason that why are we issuing check. Otherwise, these payments have to be through electronic mode. So in such a situation, the issues of checks will not arise. But if remotely anything is there, earlier also we addressed members and we requested in case you have some numbers with you that what is the number of the payments which are made through checks because of the rejection of electronic transfer only should be considered. So if you will have anything, please share some numbers with us because previously also last week we said I am parking for the time being for the FDR here will request NCL, but I will answer you on the charges on daily basis. So you are saying that do you require to do charges on a daily basis? So already today the contract notes are issued on a T+1 basis, which is within 24 hours. So we are anyway generating contract notes on a daily basis, and contract note is supposed to have all the statutory levies and other charges, including brokerage. So I'm sure that this is being done already on a daily basis. It is only a question of intimating this number to exchange and CP. So this is already being done on a daily basis. Maybe on a 15-day basis or a weekly basis, some of the members are doing kind of a reconciliation. But issuance is on a daily basis.
Yeah, ma'am, the contracts are issued on a daily basis. The only thing is that the money is lying in the settlement account. And whenever we require, we just take it from the settlement account to own account.
Correct, correct. So
suppose GST has to be deposited, say, once in a month. So I don't take it every day to my own account. I just let it lie there. And once a month, whenever
it is not compulsory. So today also it is not necessary that every day you withdraw also. You can keep that money with CC. Whenever you withdraw, you have to say that these are on account of these charges.
Okay, then it's fine. Suppose I don't withdraw for 15 days and after 15 days I withdraw on account of brokerages and statutory levies, it's fine.
Yes, yes. So that is upon you. If you are withdrawing some money, you have to necessarily tell them this money I have taken for this purpose. And this comes under this head. So if you are taking, suppose for a 15 days period, then 15 days period charges should be this much. If we run an account from the back office, the charges should tell you. And this is what is a reconciliation statement also. When we talk about reconciliation statement, this is on this account only that whenever I have taken money, this should be tallied with my ledgers of brokerage, statutory levies, all this should tally with those numbers. So this is how the reconciliation statement will work for. And when you are telling about OFS and SGPs also.
Another point where we skip was regarding uncleared checks. Suppose we deposit a check into our upstream account or the client deposits the check. Normally, the credit is reflected on a day and it's value dated the next day. And it's the clear balance is available only at the end of the day, say at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. That checks get cleared. Till that time, we cannot use that money. Though it appears in the bank statement, but it's not available for any transfers or anything. So it can't be made zero at 7 o'clock when the bank is giving a credit at 8 o'clock. That is the problem.
So now what we need to do, one is that clear balance has to move up. Now you are saying that checks which have been deposited and the clearance is after the cutoff time or after 6 7. Then again, my request and suggestion would be, when we are saying that we will be making payments through online mode, you should encourage people to send money also through online modes.
Ma'am, practically, ma'am, that does not happen. You know, even today, like we make say 100% payments through RTGS, but we receive only say 70% through RTGS. 30% is still by way of checks.
So you have to request clients, when you are making them aware of that, please do not deposit after the cutoff time. You have to also say, please do not deposit checks. At least make them aware. If something has been deposited, then we will have to look at some numbers, that how much this number is, because SEBI has been always requesting and suggesting on that we have to use the electronic method for making payment and receiving payments. You know that in January, again, when we are looking at UPI, etc., we are looking at everything coming through online modes only. Then only all this block, etc., can happen.
But practically, as Mr. Rajagupta said, many clients, you know, they still use only checks, not on the electronic modes, because of their own fear, you know. People are having their own apprehensions and fear.
Yeah, ma'am, people are not doing all this electronic transfers and all, and especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities, it's just not possible.
So message to members, see, again, if you look at 2020, before that, hardly people were using the online modes of making payments. But today, if you really look at yourself, myself, we have been doing most of the payments only using the electronic modes. So we have to make somehow aware even these clients also, because it is, again, in the coming time from next year onwards, you know that even the block mechanism will come and everything has to be through electronic modes only. So let us make clients aware from now on, so that our lives also becomes
easier.
Yes, I think we will have to move towards that. If you really see, even the government has been putting from 2020 till 2023, there is a big shift in online payment modes. So we also have to encourage people in securities market that you have to move towards online mode only. Do not deposit checks, etc.
Ma'am, meanwhile, could we request you to put in a word with SEBI that in case if any balance is left after the cutoff date or any money is coming in after the cutoff date, if we upload it at 9 o'clock in the morning, no heaven is going to fall.
Let us review what numbers are.
And especially, ma'am, in the commodity market, the commodities are running till 12 o'clock at night. And there could be huge variations at say 9 o'clock. And people would demand.
Let us look at numbers. Let us look at numbers, and accordingly, let us make a representation if required. Let us see what numbers are after the cutoff time. Stress on two clients, please do not deposit after the cutoff time. If it happens, then let us see, numbers will speak. Then accordingly, we'll have to, or if what you can do, you can give us the previous data. In previous times, how much has come after the cutoff time, so that you'll be able to.
And the problem is we don't really have a time stamping in our back office that when did the funds get. They'll appear and they lie there. So even if it's getting cleared at 8 o'clock,
you can ask your bank. You can ask
your bank. I don't have a timestamp.
For the
in order to share the data, I don't have a data with me to share, because it's not time stamped. I don't look at the time, but at the same time, I do know that at 7 o'clock there are a number of funds that are lying in uncleared column of the bank, which get subsequently cleared at 8 o'clock.
So to start with, let us start educating people, start sending mailers to them, That one is that please do electronic transfers. Two, that please do not deposit after the cutoff time. Then let us see. Once we move forward, we will also have some numbers wherever we will find. Then accordingly, let us take it forward.
But Venam, this is Rohit here from Northeast. It's just an impossibility to comply with. We're happy complying with things. I mean, it's like asking clearing to give us responses in 10 seconds. It just doesn't happen. Now, if you give us a circular that's impossible to comply with, it makes no sense. And then you come back and fine us. So I just think we should be practical and say, yes, it will happen. And wherever we can, NCL can, other agencies can support us with faster responses. That's all I just want to add.
So Rohit, therefore I said that let's look at the numbers. And Sureshji and Rajiv also said, so let us look at numbers and we will take that forward accordingly. Only thing is, before looking at numbers, let us inform the clients as well. One, to use the electronic method, and two, do not deposit after the cutoff time. Then let us see the numbers. We will accordingly take it forward.
Mr. Rajiv, can I take some?
We are not saying today that we are going to penalize. We have not yet given any penalty structure as of now. So
that will follow.
अभी नहीं है राजीव जी तो
अरे आ जाएगा मैम ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जो बिना पेनल्टी के आएगी
Rajiv ji, can I take questions? Yeah, questions from chat box.
Yeah.
That is, whoever can answer that. If we are with PCM, then can we place FDR with PCM? Do we need to premature the FDR? Please reply, madam, from the panel of speakers.
Question one, answer to question number one. You cannot give FDR to PCM.
Okay. Then another question from Mr. Sunil.
Second is, can you transfer fund from downstream to upstream? Answer is yes.
Yeah. From downstream to upstream.
Yeah. Can we transfer fund from downstream to upstream? Answer is yes.
But upstream to downstream is not allowed. Correct.
Yeah. Even you can transfer from upstream to upstream also. Yes. That is the only thing which is not allowed.
So your voice gets distorted. I mean, audio is not that good. Mr. Ashutosh Gupta, whether normal T1 T+1 payout received from CC need to be upstream to a CC, or stockbroker can use it for payout clients via downstream, or withdraw own funds from this payout, or transfer funds for brokerage. That is normal T+1 payout received from CC.
Yeah, no need to upstream. It can be downstream and given to the customers, and you can take it to the owner, so your own funds.
Okay. Then Mr. Swaminathan, I am only a pro member, alpha member, having only one UCC. That is my membership code for prop trading. Should I upstream? Should I submit not applicable report? He is only a pro trader. No answers for this? Hello?
One UCC. UCC use karana, one UCC.
What, madam?
So yeah, if you're using the UCC, it is not a pro account. If it is a UCC, then all the upstream and downstream will be applicable.
Why are you using UCC?
What, Piyush, sir? No, you are you are not audible, sir. Mr. Piyush. Okay, I'm going to next question. Mr. Kunal Kaniza. Explain the reasoning behind
For
1 year.
We don't need to UCC.
Audio is still bad, sir. Nobody is able to hear you properly. Okay, next question. Please explain the reasoning behind 1 year tenure when it is callable deposit, fixed deposit. What is the logic behind 1 year deposit,
If it is, deposit should be freely encashable. If there are any restrictions, then if there is a settlement paying to be done, there could be problems. That's why the deposit should be free deposit.
No. His question is why you are restricting to 1 year. It can be more than that also. Anytime you can encash it.
Why 1 year? Why not 2 year, 3 year?
Yeah, that's I understand. So usually members are putting their deposits of more than say 2 years or 3 years, and when this
okay.
Can't hear you, Piyush.
Piyush ji, आपका audio problem है. Still, Mr. Dara Joshi, how can we restrict client to send money till cutoff time only? Another question is, what if the client has made an RTGS around noon and the system at banking is not working and is received later in the evening? What should be done in that case? Both are more or less similar questions only.
It is same like getting a credit in your bank account after cutoff time.
Yeah.
So we'll have to all these queries have been put up to SEBI by association also, and we will guide it by what SEBI gives the response.
Okay. Next is there any change in fund withdrawal format from CC, as we need to mention reason for downstreaming? Mr. Jaimin Thakkar asked.
No. While downstreaming, I don't think that we need to mention any reason.
There's no.
It's only the summary that needs to be uploaded by 11 or 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a upload requirement before the end of the day. You need to upload the reasons. So the reason details are given in the circulars and FAQs. So suppose, as is discussed earlier, suppose it is a brokerage, then you have to mention about brokerage. You are withdrawing for brokerage, statutory charges. So that file needs to be uploaded, but it need not be uploaded every time you make a withdrawal. It can be consolidated at the end of the day.
Okay.
So related to this only, suppose a member withdraws say 1 crore at the beginning of the day and makes payout only for 80 lakhs during the day and transfers back 20 lakhs. So does he have to give a payout, the reason code for 100 lakhs or 80 lakhs?
100 lakhs.
Pardon, sir?
100 lakhs, because whatever he is withdrawing, so we are seeing the reason for only withdrawing, not if you have deposited back say 20 lakhs again, but that is we are not asking for upward streaming, we are asking only for downstreaming. So in case of downstreaming only, you have to put the remark.
So in that case, what would be the reason code, sir?
For your withdrawing for what purpose?
No, I'm withdrawing to make the payouts for the clients.
Yeah. So you have to.
And at the end of the day, the money is not payable to him. Suppose he comes back and buys something.
Okay.
So I'm not going to pay him, obviously, and he won't ask. Okay. So I upstream the money back again. So do I have to put a reason code for the gross amount or for the net amount?
Yeah, for gross amount only.
So gross amount, what would be the reason code in this one for making payouts to clients? Is that fine?
Yes, that is
so
fine.
Any surplus left will be upstreamed.
Yes.
Another question, quarterly settlement on July 7th. After the market closed at 4 p.m., we will be withdrawing FDR based on margin utilization. FDR maturity amount will be credited to the upstream bank account by 7 p.m. So Mr. Hemant Guru asked how to push this money to downstream account.
We have been advising always all the members that all the FDR encashment, every quarter we have been informing that all the FDs, what you are encashing, please do it in advance. In fact, a week before we keep telling them that keep this fund as cash so that last day you can just withdraw the cash.
Okay,
so
instead of doing last day.
Please do not wait till the last minute. We have been sending mails every quarter, 1 week before we guide all the members to follow this practice.
मैम ये क्वार्टरली सेटलमेंट वाले दिन तो कुछ थोड़ा सा लीवे दे दो, क्योंकि अगर सपोज ऑल द फाइल्स एंड ऑल मार्जिन फाइल्स दे कम बाय 7 o'clock, bills have to be prepared and margins have to be calculated, and then payouts have to be done. By that time we run out of the cutoff time for uploading. What do we do?
Correct. So for settlement day particularly, let us see. In fact, it is approaching also. It is just next week that we have to do the settlement. On that day, whatever funds would be there, we will certainly represent SEBI that on the settlement day, this exemption should be there, because you are giving the instructions to the bank, and debit generally happens next day morning.
Correct.
So for that day, we will certainly request SEBI.
Okay.
Jayalakshmi Palliappan, we encourage people to send the payments through electronic mode. However, elderly people and 2% of the clients deposit checks, as we discussed already this issue. And Mr. Anup Kandalwal says, the reply on payment received after the cutoff time remains unclear. It is clearly visible that talks are moving around circular wordings. Practical aspects are totally overlooked. Ambiguity still remains. Here's what is feedback on amounts received after the cutoff time.
So we spoke on cutoff time. We said that if we find we have to educate people, we need to make awareness. If still we get something, let us see how much is the amount which is received. But at least from our side, those efforts should be there.
मैम प्रैक्टिकली अगर सपोज करो रात को 9 बजे फंड्स आ गए और हमने सवेरे 9 बजे उसको अपस्ट्रीम कर दिया, तो इशू है कहाँ?
नहीं, देखो इशू नहीं है, बट एज पर द करंट प्रोसेस अलाउड नहीं है.
नहीं, सपोज करो हमने 7 o'clock तो स्वीप कर दिया व्हाटएवर वी हैव, and after that if something comes in and we upload it again in the morning, then there is, I don't think
मैं बात ये नहीं करी कि इशू है या नहीं है. In the current framework it doesn't fit in. तो अपने को क्या करना, we need to make efforts to educate people, and after that also if something happens like we receive, let us look at the quantum and then we will take it up.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Depends upon the quantum we have to decide. Mr. GP Lada asked one question. Will pay-in happen from funds with the CC, or we have to ask funds from CC and transfer to settlement account? Will pay-in happen from funds with CC, or we have to ask funds from CC and transfer to settlement account?
We ask for a release, sir.
I think your voice is clear, sir, now. Good.
We have to ask for a release, sir, from CC.
Oh, we have to ask from CC. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next one question from Mr. Sunil Bhatti. If FD is given against security deposit for 5 years, is it necessary to premature that FD?
So it is only for margin deposits, sir. Security deposit is not, sir. FD rules are for margin deposits, whatever is given for margins.
And Mr. Hemant Gaurav, in case increase in EOD margin as per S file comes only after 5 p.m. If we don't accept fund after 5 p.m., it will result in shortfall in EOD margin collection.
No, we are not set 5 p.m. CC upstream time is 7 p.m. And member can have their own cutoff time. So they are required to anyway, your TM cannot stop taking fund before 6 p.m.
Okay.
But you can technically take funds even up to 7 p.m. as long as you can upstream to CC by 7 p.m.
Still people are having view that the deposit maturity can be more than 1 year. Still is a callable deposit,
So that is something which is, we can only tell you what is the interpretation of the circular or operationally. The whys of the circular, you have to ask SEBI only. Sir.
Can we ask Mr. Samir Shah, can we ask banks not to give credit of checks, deposit or cleared on the same day after the cutoff time to broker accounts, and date should be of next date, I think. I think this is practically possible or not, we don't know.
The ask is that after the cutoff time, funds should not be in your account, which is client account, upstream account.
Okay.
I don't know how you will be working through this way. Awareness, I think that you have to make. You have to
Ma'am,
tell
ये
client not to deposit.
practically possible नहीं है. I have a 93-year-old client who will always pay me by check, and that check gets cleared only at 8 o'clock in the evening. He has no way of making an RTGS payment. I pay him by RTGS, but he will never pay me by RTGS because he's a 93-year-old customer having a portfolio value of more than 200 crores. I can't ask him to move out of capital markets. I can't ask him to give me an RTGS. Whenever he gives me a check, it will get cleared only at 8 o'clock. It is impossibility of performance.
How he will do when you will do all block mechanism, etc. I am saying just prepare the clients for that.
Okay, next time you come to Delhi, I'll take you to him, to this client.
You show him the block mechanism circular and say that the time is going to come.
He knows only Rajiv Gupta, that's about all. And even for collecting checks, I have to go to his house and get a check. I have to write the check and he just signs. That is the way a 93-year-old investor operates. And we are asking him to do all sorts of block mechanisms and RTGS, NEFTs. It's not possible. That is the true picture. We have to do whatever SEBI dictates.
You have to find a way when block mechanism is introduced, how you will deal with such investors. So you start finding the ways from now only. I would recommend, because this is what is the future.
And Mr. Samisha says, gives a suggestion. In first place, why to have a client account? You will ask the clients to transfer checks directly to settlement account and upstream the same.
No, so again, this account is linked with the CC, because you have to have some accounts, because you will not have only you will have only one settlement account, no? And brokers only wanted multiple client accounts because they would like to take benefit of issuing collateral from lot of accounts, and it is the convenience of client as well. You can't have settlement account in so many banks, so therefore you will have to receive payments in client accounts only. From settlement account, it will be difficult for you also to keep a trail and all that. So you have client account because of these purpose.
Ma'am, एक suggestion है, अगर in case you feel it right, in case you could take it up with SEBI and RBI, that they could give instructions on our instructions to sweep our upstream accounts at end of the day, put it into settlement account, auto sweep the settlement account and put it into CC. So if they are giving credit at 8 o'clock, let them sweep it to CC account at 8 o'clock. There's no issue. Only the upstreaming part, downstreaming we'll handle, no problem. But in case they can do an auto sweep, so whenever they are giving a credit, they can just upstream. All accounts are with them, all client accounts are with them, all CC accounts are with them. After all, NCL will also operate through a bank account only. So it's just an entry that they have to make, and it's an auto account, auto instruction. So we just give a standing instruction that whatever is lying in our upstream account, that should be pushed to settlement account, and whatever is lying in the settlement account, that should be pushed to CC at the end of the day. So whenever they close their system, say at 10 o'clock, they can just do the needful, and that's the end of the story.
And one question by Mr. Hemant Kansara on NRI. Can we have to open DSCNB account for NRI client fund payout? His second question is on payout date. Bank normally debited fund early in the morning for NRI client fund payout.
You can have as many as DS account you want. If you want to dedicate it to NRI, you have a liberty to do it, because it's not compulsory that you need only one account. So if you want to dedicate one account for them, you can do it. When you bring the money down from CC, bring it to that account and make payment from that.
A lot of questions are there. I think already it is 5:05. Few more questions, of course. 1 or 2 questions we'll finalize.
Ma'am, this question is there that explained, as explained, the MFOS needs to be purchased in TM's beneficiary. I think we'll take this MFOS separately. It's the whole mechanism we need to understand.
I think, madam, by and large, we covered major queries. I think something left out, we will refer and get it done for people.
Sorry, I missed. What are you trying to?
No, one Mr. Manoj Goyal says, if client need funds on emergency basis or a holiday, and we are capable to pay from our own funds, what will be the process?
See, currently, if client funds are there in the CC, you have to withdraw and make payment.
No, from own funds. Own funds.
Ma'am, suppose the client wants it on a Saturday, what do we do?
So from own account, anyway, today also you are not making payment, no?
No. Suppose the client wants a payout on Saturday.
That is fine, Rajivji. I am saying that today also you are not supposed to make payments from the own account to the clients.
That's true.
Yes.
So you have to make it only from the client accounts. And in the downstream, the money can come through settlement account.
Okay. Another question, Mr. Vineet Maheshwari. Can we keep funds in settlement account on UOD, or we have to transfer to CC completely?
No, completely it has to be transferred. No money should be available in settlement account also, because you would have seen the FAQ wherein we have clarified any money lying in even the settlement account also will not be considered for the client payables. Okay. See, when we used to say that client payables should be equal to CM plus CC plus the banks, now only CM plus CC. Okay, this is the last question. Joseph Matthew, can the broker make early pay-in of funds at client level from settlement account against pay-in on T+1 instead of upstreaming? EPI of funds you can always do. Okay. I think by and large we covered.
Ma'am, वो shortage का नहीं पता चला अभी तक. Suppose we give the instruction for pay-in and the pay-in appears happens to be more.
I think there are two questions. One is on the OFS also you were asking.
Yeah.
If anybody is doing. So for OFS also, any funds which are received from the client has to be upstreamed as EPI to CCs.
Correct.
इसका भी हमने answer दिया है अपने FAQ में. And which will be kind of because OFS में 100% free margins ही रहता है. So you have to upstream that amount, one. And one question I think on pay-in shortages. Can you just repeat that, because I think you meant that if any security was to be made as pay-in, which is delivered short and against which you have to do further pay-in in terms of funds.
Correct.
From where you will do this and
Correct.
How will you ask for release, etc.
Yes.
So my answer to this is that today morning you know that how much is the money, how much security is going to be short. And accordingly, you take the release from the CC, because morning itself, you know that how much pain is going to be short and you need funds to that extent. So if you ask money from the
shortage
CC,
तो तभी पता चलती है जब एक मिनट जब shortage तब पता चलती है जब cut off time pain का निकल जाता है तब पता चलता है. By that time the debits have already run.
But generally morning में you will know na, when you know that these many securities you have to make pain. Morning itself, generally I will know that these securities we have not made pain and therefore this is going to be short. And accordingly, I need to have funds as pain for this shortage. This much we can demand from CC as a release.
Suppose I have a pain of 50 lakhs and I demand 60 lakhs. Is that an issue? No problem.
No, not a problem.
Yeah, and whatever is left, I'll upstream again.
Yes.
To that extent, there should not be an issue. No? So I can always demand more.
Yes.
Madam, this 1 year deposit.
Otherwise also, if you have taken money for making payout to client, the time client asked for payout, that time this money was releasable. After that, maybe he has taken more position and therefore you have to upstream again because this amount is not releasable now. So you have to bring it to downstream and again upstream because this is not releasable to client. And similarly, this amount also can go up.
Madam, this FDR 1 year, is it from the 1st July period? Because someone, Mr. Jaimin Thakur asked, FDR created on 1st June 2023, and maturing on 30th September 2024. Is it necessary to premature this FDR and create a new one?
From July 1, the residual maturity has to be 1 year or less.
Iska matlab, this has to be premature.
Yes.
That's all. We have to create a new FDR. Okay, sir.
Unless SEBI brings in some relief.
I think by and large we answer.
Ma'am, ये NRI clients का query रह गया है. Like people have to make payouts for NRI clients by check only. Now, if they issue checks and they are supposed to get presented the next day, how do we handle? How can we make this downstream account zero?
Why it cannot be done through electronic mode?
No, that is the query that we received, that they accept only by checks.
It is not like that.
That's the query that
we have not come across.
That they are paying only by checks in case of NRI client, because the contract note has to be attached and something like that.
I think that has to be amended, or we have to see that. For the.
By the way, are we audible now?
Yeah, now
yes,
you are fine.
Yes, sir. Perfectly audible.
One question we had seen that time earlier, we tried to answer, but you are not audible on the prop account question.
Yeah.
So one is that if it's a prop money, you don't have to upstream it, but you don't require UCC for that, right? It's UCC for clients only. Second is that what we are going to also issue a circular by tomorrow is that if you have only prop business, no client at all, okay, you cannot have any client, then we will exempt the 1 year tenure rule.
1 year?
Tenure jo hai na, 1 year term. That 1 year. That will relax for any member who has only prop business, no client business.
No client business. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll issue a circular around that by tomorrow.
Okay, sir. So as Mr. Rajiv Gupta requested, better to think of deferring this for some more time, because still a lot of things are put in place. If possible, we request the exchanges, other constituents of our capital market to represent to SEBI to see that some more time is given.
Is there any hope of getting some kind of a hearing from SEBI on this, or some kind of a relief or something, or this thing is just has to be done, so has to be done? Well, as the matter stands today, it has to be done. But practically speaking, is there any possibility of that happening?
As of now, day we stand today, it has to be done.
We are not heard anything to the contrary till now.
Okay. So last minute mein aa jayegi. So can we wind up, Mr. Rajiv Gupta? You can put the...
Yeah, is there any possibility of someone explaining this MFOS mechanism in its entirety? This overnight mutual fund business?
I think you requested some NSDL or CDSL people to explain.
Correct.
Yes. About this overnight mutual fund scheme, you know. It's one of the approved things which members can park it.
Sir, you can ask Mr. Rohit to come in if he has any queries, who is on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rohitji, please.
No, I just had one request from the clearing corporations. Since the way this is happening instead of batch process, if we can get everything done on real time, it will help us comply with this a lot quicker. So since payments can be done 24/7 real time, there's no reason why clearing corporations cannot send us money, even if it's 10 rupees or 1 crore on a real-time basis. Okay, could we ask the clearing corporations why that cannot be implemented?
Yeah, for withdrawal facility, the withdrawal, there has to be manual check on with other systems, like what is the current margin, what is the current collateral availability, etc., etc. So as of now, the CCs are doing there is some bit of a manual activity involved. It is not a straight through processing.
But the expectation from us is the same, sir. Our request is, if you can do this, it'll help us. Even early paying, if it can be done on real-time basis, it will help the whole system flow. Because then we'll all be following SEBI rules. The moment a trade happens, it goes through, payment goes through, everything happens real time. So we all can leave home at 5 o'clock instead of, waiting around.
You're right.
And so I would really push, please make the change from intermediary side. We're happy to comply with it. Just make those changes. Our life will be easier because everything gets delayed and we don't have contingency if something gets delayed.
Yeah. So for early pay, there is a dependency on the depository system also. I suppose the depository people are also there on the call. Maybe they can provide their maybe inputs.
Okay. I think Rajivji, you can sum up and do the vote of thanks.
But sir, let us please push on this point. We want to comply with these rules. The only way it complies is if they also give us real-time service, the way we are expected to.
Okay.
And then this circular becomes very easy to comply to. We won't have any issues.
That's why even one member, Mr. Nikun, says, for settlement day, let exchanges give the files, margin files, well before the cutoff time of upstream. That's one of the requests by one member. So
my request is, please request them to give us billing files by 5 and everything is easy. We never get the billing files by then, and then it's almost impossible for us to do it. So let's push on them to play their part and we can play our part as well.
Yeah, it will be interesting then. Yes. So thank you. I think we can wind up the session. Thank you for all the
thank you,
participants.
Sureshji. Thank you, Sureshji. Thank you, Renuji, and all the other people on the panel. And thank you, members, for having spared your valuable time. Now, this was the third webinar we had, one with CPI, one with BBF. Today was the one with ANMI, and I'm sure we have more questions left than answered. And hopefully we'll go along and see what problems we face, and again go with a requesting letter to the exchange and the SEBI to change this, change that. Let's hope this thing works out. And thank you so much. And
latest news by our CEO is that ANMI got opportunity of meeting with SEBI tomorrow. We hope something will happen good to all of us.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Should I end the webinar by your permission, sir?
Close them.